This manuscript was made in the 15th century in Germany. It's in its original binding. It still has its original chain. This is it. And we can tell from it that it was once chained to a shelf or a desk. It's one of the few books in the world that still shows evidence of being a part of a chained library. So chain libraries were very popular in the Middle Ages. Books were very expensive to make, and it was really important for various institutions and owners to make sure that they kept their books safe. And so for places like schools, like churches, like monasteries, where a lot of different people were using manuscripts, the easiest way to do that was to actually secure the book in the library with a chain. Once you open this manuscript, we have a really important text inside. What we have in here is what's called an epitome of the third part of the Summa Theologiae by St. Thomas Aquinas. The Summa Theologiae was St. Thomas's masterwork. It was his attempt to synthesize and explain everything that was important about Christianity, what to believe, how it worked, in one easy-to-find, well-ordered, very detailed description. There are a lot of annotations here, which tells us a lot about how readers were engaging with this text. There may be just as many words written here in the margins as there is in the middle of the text. It was important to not only read the main text of Thomas Aquinas, but also to read all of the other further explanations, further descriptions, further probing of what was actually going on in the text. Manicules are one of my personal favorite ways of learning about what medieval readers thought was important when they were reading their book. As they're reading through a text, if they come across something that they think is particularly important, they'll draw a little hand next to it, a little manicule, the way I use my finger here to indicate something important. What's interesting about these is that what they're annotating here is the gloss. They're annotating the annotations to the epitome of St. Thomas Aquinas. There are a number of different manicules that we can find in this manuscript. And in fact, we have another one sort of buried down here working with this text here. So they really show up whenever we find a text that is really being worked with, which is another indication of how valuable a book like this would have been to the people who owned it.